For the last 22 years, if you were looking for a gateway game to introduce you to modern board games, the answer was always Ticket to Ride. But we need a gateway game for this Vicenium, and I think it should be Dewan. In Dewan, you play as rival tribes venturing out into the wilderness to set up camps in forests and in mountains. I don't live near any mountains. It's a simple premise, and that's what all great gateway games are. Simple. If you're trying to introduce someone to this hobby that is notorious for its confusing rules, the last thing you want to do is confuse them with loads of rules. That's sort of an unwritten suggestion. And this is where Dewan borrows from the best, because on your turn, all you can do is either take 2 cards or play some cards. It has the same rhythm as Ticket to Ride. Draw cards, play cards, draw cards, play cards. It flows like a card game because that's where Ticket to Ride borrowed it from. You're playing cards to place tents, and like any serious camper, you need to get yours down early before your rivals take the best spots. Having that competition on a shared board is vital. If I'm introducing someone to games, I want us to all be looking in the same place. If I've invited you round to play a game and I spend it staring at my personal board, it's like we're on a date and I'm talking to the waitress. But it also means I can guide you better. If we're facing the same way, I can point out any potholes so you don't trip up. But I also want to get in each other's way. I want you to curse my name when I pitch a tent in your badlands and take your berry. Not a euphemism. That playful competition is one of the best things about board games, so a gateway game has to have it. To place a tent, you journey out from your home camp and play a card for every space you go through. If you go through a forest, you play a forest card. So when you take cards, you're planning where you want to go, taking what you need. Except there's a tiny rule that you must take 2 cards that are next to each other. And I love it because it stops you from overthinking about what to take. You're forced to embrace imperfection. Now you know what it feels like to hug you. You're placing camps to meet objectives. These tiles are the main goal of the game. They will give you points once you have a tent in all of these places. This is your tribe coming back home to tell the story of their travels. Because you haven't truly been on holiday until you've bragged about it. It's a long-term plan. Some of them will take you the whole game, and it's exactly what a gateway game needs. Something to focus on, to tell you what to do. It's so easy to get lost in a game. It comes to your turn and you've got no idea where to turn. Well, this is your signpost. You stay on this path for 10 minutes and you'll get to the points. But there's 100 ways to get there, and that's the joy of the game, deciding how to approach it. Because those camps that you place, they're not just ticking boxes to get points. You can start your journey from them next time. So if you place a tent in the middle of the map, it makes it easier to get around. And traveling by water is quicker. You only play 1 card to travel the whole river. So maybe your strategy is to camp by water first and use the river as your canal. The game has this constant feeling of progress that I love. You never feel like you're waiting for something to happen, like the right card coming up in Ticket to Ride or the right roll in Catan. Because when you place a tent, you take the next one from your recessed board and it unlocks something. If the line points here, you take a new objective tile. Now you've got 2 kids to feed. But the beauty is you get to pick one that fits your life. This kid likes crystals. You could keep them happy when you're dropping the other one off at forest school. What's great is that you knew this choice was coming, so you were already thinking about which one you were going to take 2 turns ago. Even taking different cards to get ready for your objective that you're planning to take. It's so satisfying. It's modern board games at their best. You've got loads of options and room to do your own thing, so you feel clever when your choices pay off. If the line points here, you tuck a card under your board. That counts as visiting that type of region for an objective. That's how you get around the problem of someone taking the spot you need. What I love about this is it's holding your hand. Because of this board, you'll never forget to take a tile or tuck a card. It's great product design. Like when you complete a goal, you push up your tile and it reminds you to take a free card. But it's also drip feeding the game. The intensity is staggered. You start with 1 goal, then you don't get another one until your second tent is down. Then again when you're halfway through. It's how you'd want to ease someone in without overwhelming them all at once. Hold on, can I trade this wood for some brick? Thanks. If you got that reference, you've played Catan. I've been playing it since I was 13 years old. Here's a photo of me not playing Catan, because back then we could only afford to take 1 photograph a month and we'd all take it in turns to look at it. That was our social media. And I would always lose Catan to my friend Will. I was convinced he was cheating, but it turns out it was something much worse. He was making better tactical decisions than me. And 30 years on, he still is. I can never tell where to place my starting settlements or which hexes or port to aim for. How can I make Will pay, truly suffer, within the game if I'm never getting better? There is an answer, a new place to play Catan online that teaches you to be better at the game. It calculates the most optimal moves so I can learn as I play, and it's called Hexed. And if you're more of a Will, by which I mean you're handsome and already good at the game, this is the first platform that takes competitive Catan seriously. This is chess.com, but for Catan. Real ranked play, real tournaments, real cash prize pools for the winners. And it's completely free to play in your browser with no ads. It's built by a team of competitive Catan players and developers from Stanford who spent 10 months and $500,000 making this, with one goal: to create the best online Catan product that's ever existed. And they've sponsored this video so I can get the word out for them. And if you sign up for a free account using my link below, you'll be helping Actualol. And as an extra thank you, everyone who signs up will get a champion membership for 2 weeks. So you can get coaching tips that will help you beat the Will in your life. So go start a game right now. I can't beat their top bot, but maybe you can. Links below. And unlike Ticket to Ride, the objectives are out in the open, which makes the game easier to teach, but it also makes it more tense for experienced players. I can see what you need and use that against you. You need to visit 4 forest zones. There might only be 4 on the map, so I can take one to ruin your life. My tribe is really big on being a dick. But most people won't. It's not a mean game at heart, but you can go there if you want to. It's a social butterfly. It follows the vibe of the group. You're also trying to outdo each other by getting the most fire symbols to score 4 points, and grabbing these berries which are first come, first served. Little hooks that make you care what your opponents are doing and make the game more social. Like if you want to travel through someone's tent, you can, but you have to pay that card to that player. It doesn't happen that often, but it feels good when it does. A good gateway game should be flexible, and Dewan is just as fun with 2 players as 3 and 4 because the board scales, so it always feels like there's someone in your way. It's a shame that it doesn't stretch to 5 players like our OG does, but this is our never-ending curse. The world just isn't designed for immensely popular people with 4 friends. Elsewhere, the game makes you feel like they've thought of you. The reference tile that tells you how to set up the game and reminds you how to get points. The helpful player boards, everything is colorblind friendly. And they've given you expansion scenarios in the box. The downpour, which has you flooding the board, adds even more interaction because you can cover up the spots someone else wants. And it changes the scoring. Same for the volcano, which spreads lava. And both of them add new tactical choices because the events trigger after 6 cards have been taken. So you'll be torn between getting a tent down and getting the chance to place lava on someone's future home. In lake villages, you can set up camps in lakes and collect fish. And there's rules to play with teams, 2 versus 2. One of my favorite touches is there's no plastic in the box. I'd much rather these printed wooden tents and recessed boards than Ticket to Ride's chintzy plastic trains. Even the insert is this beautiful cardboard contraption that tells you where everything goes. It's so nice to see a wave of publishers, mostly in France, making luxury games without plastic. It's like we've come full circle. It all started with cardboard and wood in the 90s, and now we're back there, but with a modern take on it. And that's what Dewan is. It's the perfect combination of old and new. The interactive gameplay, the quick turns and simple rules is more reminiscent of games from 25-30 years ago, like Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne and Catan, the wave of modern board games that started this whole hobby, originally known as Eurogames. But the designers Johannes Goupy and Johan Levet, the French Johns, who between them have Faraway, Chronologic, Pixies and Turing Machine on their CVs, have brought modern ideas to that style of game. That, plus some incredible artwork which we could have only dreamed of 30 years ago, makes it a gateway game for 2026. Now the term Eurogames has evolved to describe games that have less interaction and are more complicated. That's the way the hobby has shifted, and a lot of the best-selling games of the last 10 years like Wingspan, Everdell and Ark Nova are more focused on your own player area. And the old Euro games are now called OGs, original German games. If that's the kind of game you prefer, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just Euro-divergent. And so am I. For me, Dewan is a bright pink flower sprouting in a dead garden. It's a sign that people still want to make games like this. But I'm also nervous that if no one waters it, we won't get another one anytime soon. If you'd like to buy Dewan, there's a link below that supports the channel. This is a rare single review for me, so if you'd like to see more, please let me know by leaving a comment or clicking the like button. And this is an extra video that was funded by my patrons. If you'd like to help fund another video like this, please sign up too. I'm John Perkis, thanks for watching.